Hey guys, I want to talk a bit about my little, what would you call it? I guess freak out that I posted on Facebook. I was feeling really different. I was feeling very other. Um, so I realized after sharing and pouring my crap out there and everyone being beautiful and sharing and pissing me off and inspiring me and all the things that love are, I realized that I was operating outside of a persecution mindset. So a persecution mindset is people like me, healers, historically, since the beginning of time, have had a little bit of issues with mainstream society. The persecution from the church. Women like myself call themselves witches and still call themselves witches. So healers, creators, artists, people that have really stepped out into the world and have done something different will often, historically, literally lose their head. Okay, we can't have any of that here. So I think I was carrying a bit of that persecution mindset, that fear that if I share with people what I really do, who I really am, well, they're gonna off with my head. Get out of here. F you. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know what's really interesting too is what seems to be a very common thread of people that are healers, artists, world changers, people that stand up and make a difference in the world and speak out against some type of injustice and inspire people to be the best versions of themselves. Oftentimes, we've been through hell. Absolute hell. Either lost our lives, almost tried to end our lives, or just something that we faced was really traumatic, right? And because of that, we grew better, we grew more whole, we grew powerful. Because of those experiences, we were able to manifest that and be you know what, maybe I should make this into art and give it to the world and help somebody else who went through this. That's just mind-blowing. So the fact that we have gone through a lot as healers means that oftentimes we've had that experience of being other, of being different, of being on the other side of things, not being part of the team, not being accepted, not feeling like people really get us or people really understand us or people really want to get to know us. So that's all part of the fact that we're healing ourselves and healing as a society of healers, because we're all healers. And when our job as a healer is to really notice where we feel other and why we feel other and start talking about it, start sharing about it with other people. So what I figured out is that the sense of otherness is also from my own trauma, feeling different, having people betray me, having people leave me, feeling I have to convince people to respect me, to see who I am. So when I share what I do with people, it's very vulnerable. When you're an artist and you're a healer, it can feel really vulnerable because you're not saying I'm a teacher, you're not saying a writer or specifically just a writer. You're all these different things, so you might not be able to find a nice, comfortable logo or name that people usually call themselves. So it's vulnerable. It's ooh, let me get to know you by sharing with you my name. It feels kind of sensitive. And as a result, sometimes we can assume the worst of other people when people are just people. If people don't understand something, if people don't know something, most people don't ask questions. Most people don't want to look stupid, right? Most people don't want to feel bad. Most people want to be oh yeah, cool, So anyway, and let me get back to my story. Oh, that's great that you do that. Most people don't question things because we don't want to look stupid. We don't want to look like we don't know. We don't want to look like there's something that we need to learn. And if we start talking about the fact that we're healers and we work on this emotional, spiritual stuff, right? And we help people get into their power. When people hear that, that can bring up a lot of stuff in them. That can bring up, it could be very confronting. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, yeah, right, you do. There are all these things that can come up for people. And it's our job to really filter all of that through a sense of love and a sense of patience, knowing that not everybody speaks our language. I love my husband, and he's incredible. I love his brilliant mind, but we don't always speak the same language. Like, he's into computers. He develops software for computers, right? So sometimes we're on different sides of the fence, and that's okay. Like, I don't have to act as if he hates me, or act as if there's something wrong with me, or act as if he's attacking me when he just doesn't understand. Like, the language of the healer is really beautiful and really rich. And the more that we speak it, the more that we share our truth, the more that other people are going to be waking up to the fact that we really are all healers, right? We all have this energy and this power within us. And when we recognize that everybody is trying to be on the same team, like, nobody wants to look stupid, nobody wants to be other, we all want to be together, we all want to be working together, it's so much easier to create and to be with people. Because for me, I know I can filter it through the mindset of, oh, what are they going to think? What does this mean? How, like, oh, are they going to question it? Are they going to ignore it, right? And that's like the old persecution mindset. So in my personal healing, in my own work with my healer, my mentors, is learning that when people are confused, when people don't know, like, open up more. Like, let my heart be open more. I don't have to close it, and I don't have to be afraid, and I don't have to shut down. And neither do I really have to explain to someone or help them get it. Does that make sense? I just got to be there with people, because I really woke up to the fact that I'm leaving a legacy of love, like, not a legacy of my name, not a legacy of my brand, not a legacy of my, like, motto, right? Like, oh, I don't want to leave, like, a powerful motto behind me. And all of those things that I think when we're first starting out with our own businesses, we get really caught up in. They go, oh, it has to be perfect. It has to make sense. Blah, 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 which was happening to me too. Like, that energy was coming up in me, and I was forgetting that the reality is, like, I love people, and I want to be with people, and I want to see people, and that's my strength, and that is my brand. Like, that's it. So if I introduce myself and I say, hey, I'm a wellness coach, or hey, I'm a breakout coach, or hey, I'm a healer, or hey, you know, I'm a unicorn, or whatever fancy thing that I want to say, whatever ridiculous thing, it doesn't really matter. That, yeah, in society we have names, and it helps people put us in little boxes for, like, just organizational purposes. But the most important thing is that I'm focused on really hearing people and really connecting with people, and not assuming that somebody doesn't like me, or assuming that someone isn't interested, when in reality people might not be interested, or people might be on the other side of the fence. People might not resonate with people, or they might not just be ready. And that's okay, because remembering, like, coming back to my power, coming back to my truth, it's me remembering I am leaving a legacy of love, not of my title, not of a brand, you know, not of a certain system or a certain box. And I'm, like, really waking up to that that's really okay. That it doesn't matter what we call ourselves. Like, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what our bio is. It doesn't matter what our resume says. It doesn't matter what schools we studied at or what certificates we got, right? Like, deep down, it matters, how do we create a legacy? How are we impacting people who are with us right now? Like, how do I interact with people? Can I hang out with kids? Can I make them feel safe? Can I get down on my knees and play? You know what I mean? Can I talk to people who aren't healers? Like, people like my husband. Can I have fun with them? Can I get to their heart? Can I hear their heart? Even if I speak a different language. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is my legacy. That is my aim. Not, like, how do I make sure that my bio, you know, fits blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I still get caught up in that, because I'm, like, constantly changing and constantly growing, and I think it's okay to allow that to manifest and allow that to grow with us. But it's just so freeing, right, to remember that it doesn't matter. Like, our brand, our colors, our logo, what people think, or, like, the resume, rather, or all of that. Like, it doesn't matter, other than just really making connections with people that are really valuable and really important. God, that is so freaking freeing, isn't it? I'm, like, making sure that I'm covering everything, because this is a really super important thing, because I think a lot of the people that I love, a lot of my fellow creators, we all feel like we have to be a certain thing. Like, I have to be the trauma expert. Like, I have to always talk about trauma. And yeah, I do, because that's part of my heart. But, like, there's a lot more to me, right? Empowerment. There's strength. There's beauty. There's being vulnerable in the world. There's creating a legacy. And we don't have to choose. We don't have to say, well, I'm an artist. So that's the only thing I can do every single day. I have to do this thing every single day. That has to be it. Otherwise, there's something wrong. No, we get to grow. We get to encompass all parts of ourselves and share who we are with the world. And when we do, when we hold all of those pieces, we inspire everybody else to be like, dude, I'm multifaceted too. I have all these parts of myself too, without fear or without shame. So I hope you feel really confident in who you are and know that it doesn't matter, you know, what your mantra is or the mantras that you tell people or the catchphrases or your title or all of that stuff. It really doesn't. All that matters is your heart and your ability to connect with people. And you have this incredible ability of making people feel seen and making people feel loved, like really loved. And that is so powerful. And that's exactly what the world needs. Okay, so thank you for doing your service and thank you for being in the world. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.